Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing very well. Welcome back to English with Abiha. The topic we're gonna discuss today will prove to be really helpful for the students of phonetics and phonology. So without wasting any time, let's get started. You must be wondering, what's the difference between a fluent English speaker and the English you speak? Why doesn't your English sound fluent? Your grammar is right, you're using almost the same vocabulary, you follow the same dictionary. Then what is stopping you from speaking like a native speaker? The answer is, fluent English speakers use a lot of contractions in their conversation. So the key for sounding like a native speaker is to use contractions and reductions. In this video, I'm gonna teach you 45 different British contractions and reductions and their usage in everyday life. Do you ever feel confused when you hear or see phrases like gimme, hafta, LOT+OF, and sorta? What do these all mean? Well, there are quite a few to learn that they are contractions, or you can say reductions or reduced words. And you do need to know these words in order to understand natural conversation, and you might want to use these words if you want to sound more like a native speaker. So let's get started with the lesson. Contractions, what are they? They are reduced forms of words, normally 2 words, occasionally 3 words. For example, the contraction gimme is actually give plus me, gimme. For example, instead of saying, give me that book, you will say, give me that book. Give me that book. You'll find that there are some commonly used words that are often included in reductions, me being one of them. Another example of a reduction including me is LEMME. LEMME. LEMME is the combination of let plus me. For example, instead of saying, let me come with you, you'll say, let me come with you. Let me come with you. Remember, you must never use these in formal situations or formal writing tests. Especially don't use these in exams, unless you are specifically asked to use contractions or slang language. I would say that the most important part of this is that you understand them. So if a native speaker uses one with you, you can understand and respond. But if you're looking to sound like a native speaker, then you might want to practice them. Now let's move on to the second set of contractions, which is what plus is plus word. The first one is what is up. What do we say? We say, what's up? What's up with that? What's up with that? Another one is what plus is plus her. What is her? We reduce this to what's her. For example, what's her name again? That is something that I would genuinely say in an informal situation. However, I would be unlikely to write this down. I would just use this in spoken informal speech. The masculine form of this is what's his. Instead of saying what's his, you can use a contraction what's his. What's his phone number? Again, I wouldn't write what's his down, but I would say it. Right on to the third group of reductions, we have word plus have. The first one is could plus have. The contracted form will be coulda. So instead of saying could have, we can say coulda. For example, you could have told me that yesterday. You could have told me that yesterday. Instead of saying you could have told me that yesterday, you can say you could have told me that yesterday. That's better. We also have might have, which reduces to mighta. For example, she might have gone to the college today. Instead of saying she might have gone to the college today, you may use a contraction here. She might have gone to the college today. That's better. We also have must have, which reduces to musta. For example, instead of saying she must have taken the train, you can say she must have taken the train. She must have taken the train. And we have should have, which reduces to shoulda. People need to learn how to use these contractions, natives and non-natives alike. For example, you should have done something. Instead of saying you should have done something, you can say you should have done something. And the last one, woulda. Instead of saying would have, you may use a contraction here, woulda. For example, I would have gone but I was ill. Instead of saying this, you can say I would have gone but I was ill. I would have gone but I was ill. Now the next group of reductions is WORD+TO. The next one is the one you will hear so frequently, GOING+TO, gonna. Gonna is a contraction that we use all the time. Even you can watch my previous video lesson regarding contractions and the link is given in the description below. Let's take an example for gonna. I'm gonna go to the market. Do you want anything? I won't say I'm going to go to the shops. Do you want anything? I'd rather use a contraction here. I'm gonna go to the market. Do you want anything? Another really common one is got to. Instead of saying got to, the native speakers use a contraction gotta. Instead of saying got to, they say gotta. Got to changes to gotta. For example, I gotta go. I gotta go. Notice, I'm not saying I got to go. I'm saying I gotta go. I'm almost saying with a da sound. I gotta go. Has plus to. Well, it changes to hafta. Hafta. Now, a lot of non-native speakers will find it quite hard to say the z sound in front of the t sound, hafta. That's quite a hard combination because z is voiced and t is unvoiced. So even native speakers will change it to hafta. Hafta. For example, she has to believe him. She has to believe him. Now, what will we say for have plus to? We would say hafta. So we change the v sound to a f sound. For example, oh my God, you have to meet him. You have to meet him. Listen, I'm not saying you have to meet him. I'm saying you have to meet him. Hafta. Another one, ought plus to. Ought to. This changes to outta. For example, you ought to call in sick. Now this is more common in American English. They say oughta, oughta. The Americans use da sound instead of ta sound, while British people say it outta. So maybe this one is not as commonly used in British English, but I think you ought to know about it anyway. And then the last one, a really common one, want to. Want to changes to wanna. And the contracted form of wants to will be wants to. Wants to changes to wants to. For example, I want to go to the cinema, she wants to come with. She wanna come with me is used in a slang way, but if you want to speak proper slang English, then you should say wants to. It sounds more grammatically correct because it is accounting for the third person singular. When you use an apostrophe, that's the key for a contraction. Do watch the whole video till the end and don't skip it because this video is going to be really interesting. Because I'm gonna relate the contractions to English songs because you know what? A lot of English singers use contractions in these songs and it becomes difficult for the non-native speakers to understand the lyrics of the song. You may notice that the native speakers use a lot of contractions during their conversation, and you can notice contractions in English movies and English songs too. So if you want to sound more like a native speaker, you have to listen and practice. Listen English songs, watch English movies. Try to understand the accent and pronunciation of the native speakers. that's the key for learning. Listen and practice. Now the next group of reductions is word plus of. These are really common, so make sure you listen to this part because a lot of them are not as obvious as in the previous group. The first one is kind plus of. Kind of. We reduce this to kinda. I kinda like it. I kinda like it. This one I use all the time. I rarely say kind of. I really often say kinda. It also works with the plural of kind. For example, kinds plus of. Thus, kindsa. For example, I've got lots of kinds of keys in my cupboard. It also works for lots plus of. Lotsa. For example, there are lots of people there. Also works for lot plus of. Lotta. This makes Lotta. She had a lot of friends. We also have out of, which makes outta. For example, I have to get out of here. We also have sort of, which makes sorta. For example, what sort of chocolate is that? And type of, which makes typa. For example, it's a type of dark chocolate. It's a type of dark chocolate. And a really weird one, which we do use in spoken slang but not in written slang. Really, it's front of, which makes fronna. For example, park in front of the house. Park in front of the house. Right now we have a huge group of reductions. It is word plus you. There's so many reductions here. Most of them are commonly used, so it's important to know them. The first one is bet plus you. This changes to betcha. Betcha. So when we join a ta sound and ya sound, we join it together as part of connected speech and we make it a cha sound. Betcha. Betcha. For example, I bet you can't guess how much that cost. I bet you can't guess. Instead of saying I bet you can guess, you can use a contraction here, I bet you can guess, and it will make you sound more like a native speaker. And you know what? A lot of English singers use such contractions in their songs. You won't hear them say bet you. They sound like betcha because they use a lot of contractions during their conversation. We also have don't plus you, making don'tcha. Just like Lauren Gray in her song Queen sounds like don't you know I'm dangerous? And that's the example. We also have get plus you, which makes geta. For example, Selena Gomez in her song Tell Me Something I Don't Know sounded like get you not to treat me like a child baby. Instead of saying get you not to treat me like a child baby, she sounded like getcha, and that's how a lot of English singers use contractions in their songs and we get confused like what did they actually say. I have another example. I'm gonna getcha next time I see you. So we used gonna and getcha at the same time. To get someone means to, it's like a threat to beat someone up. And I also use the next one, which is see you, and changes to see ya. See ya. Where are you? I can't see ya. Or we also say see you later. Instead of see you, we sound like see ya. And we also have got plus you, which reduces to gotta. Gotta. For example, I got this for your birthday. I got this for your birthday. That means I got you this for your birthday. Now we don't use the rest of this list in written English. This is just spoken slang, so please note that. We have how plus do plus you, which is how do ya? How do ya? For example, how do you like your tea? We also have how did you in the past. There's just a subtle difference here. For example, instead of saying how did you, you'll sound like how'd ya? How'd you do that? How'd you do that? That's how native speaker sounds. How to do that? We also have how plus would plus you, which is normally how do you. There are really subtle differences here. How do you do that? We also just have did you, which is did ya. Did ya. For example, instead of saying did you go to the gym today, you may sound like did you go to the gym today? We also have what plus are plus you, so instead of sounding like what are you doing, you may sound like what are you doing? What are you doing? We also have what plus do plus you, so instead of asking like what do you think about it, you can say what do you think about it? What do you think about it? We also have want plus you, which changes to want ya. For example, I want you in my office right now. I want you in my office right now. We have what did or do you, which is what ya. What ya. We have when did or do you, which is when ya. When ya. We have where did or do you, which is where ya. Where ya. We have who did or do you, which is who'd ya. Who'd ya. And we have why did or do you, which is why'd ya. Why'd ya. And would you reducing to would ya. For example, would you do me a favor? The last example that we have, I'm sure you'll know it, and if you don't, I'm honored to be the teacher who teaches it to you. It is don't know, which is don't know. Don't know. For example, I don't know. I don't know. Instead of sounding like I don't know, you may sound like I don't know. I also have a contraction that is being widely used on social media, the word ain't. Ain't is a contraction for am not, is not, are not, has not, and have not in the common English language. In some dialects, ain't is also used as a contraction of do not, does not, and did not. As I told you that English singers use a lot of contractions in their songs, and here comes another example. You might have heard the song It Ain't Me by Selena Gomez. It ain't me. She used a contraction, ain't. It ain't me. And another song by Jennifer Lopez, Ain't Your Mama. Ain't your mama. She used a contraction here, ain't. Another important contraction that is being widely used is am instead of them. Am is the contracted form of them. You might have heard the song Kill 'Em With Kindness by Selena Gomez. She didn't say kill them with kindness. She sounded like kill 'em with kindness, and she used a contraction am here. And that's the example. And even a lot of native speakers use such contractions in their conversation. For example, they'll be like, let them go, instead of let them go. Let them do whatever they want. Let them go, instead of let them go. I hope you got my point. There are some other contractions with apostrophe that I had discussed in my previous video, and the link is given in the description below. Those contractions were aren't, can't, could've, couldn't, didn't, doesn't, don't, hadn't, hasn't, haven't, he'd, he'll, he's, how'd, I'd, I'll, I've, isn't, it'll, it's, let's, may have, must have, and might have. Right, that is the end of today's video lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. I have given you a lot of information in this video, so if you learned something new in this lesson, please use them and do some hard work and practice to sound more like a native speaker. You guys can suggest me any topic relevant to English language and literature in the YouTube comment section, because you know I've been receiving a lot of DM requests on Instagram and Twitter, and to be honest, I'm really sorry, I barely check any of them. So if you guys have any questions or problems regarding studies, you can ask in the YouTube comment section. I'll try my best to help you. So thanks for watching. Do share your feedback in the comment section and subscribe to my channel for upcoming videos. Don't forget to press the bell icon so that you never miss an update. Like, comment, share, and support. Keep watching, keep supporting. Get ready for my next video. Best of luck for your studies. Take care. Allah Hafiz.